Hey, Chargers Central back again for another season. How's it going, Levon?
It's going good. How are you?
Good, good. We a lot of crazy stuff going on with the Chargers. We got to get into that. Um,
Yeah.
let's jump right in. Rashawn Slater, that
Yeah.
devastating injury yesterday at practice. I was there. What are your thoughts on it's a patella tendon injury, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just devastating. We had high hopes going into the season, especially after signing Keenan, and now Slater out. Um, it's going to be a struggle for that O line if they can't, get it going early. Like Pipkins, um, likely the starter at right tackle. The only upside to that is that he's playing in his original position and not right guard anymore. And Becton at right guard, he could, help him out a little more there compared to last season. What we had last season, I think it's a little bit better this season with Becton there. But overall, I mean, it's going to be tough if this O line, that was the biggest problem, and we kept mentioning that last year. The O line needs to wake up, and they just couldn't get it going. So it's a huge blow, but I mean, I wish him a speedy recovery. The question is, when he comes back next year, hopefully, is he still going to be LT, or are they going to keep Alt at LT? Because remember, Alt's original position was LT. So would they keep him there? Would they move Slater to RT? It remains to be seen. But as far as this year, not much in free agency either for O linemen. People make the argument, yeah, we should have addressed the O line during the offseason. I agree. But I think overall this is an improved team from last season, and some could argue even Herbert has the best supporting cast he's had in his career currently. So this is a devastating blow.
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm going to try to look on the bright side of things. Charger fans, we're used to these devastating kind of injuries. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, even last year Herbert in training camp. That was a blow to the team. And but the difference here is, TT's Tom Telesco's teams were always front loaded. You had this superstars, and then if one goes out, you're just done. Keenan's out, oh, season's over.
Yeah.
And Joe Ortiz, he's built this very deep team, in such a short time. Yeah, every position is just loaded, and like you were saying, the offensive line, that's the toughest one to kind of build. There's not guys you can just grab out there for offensive line. But we do have Pipkins, who was a starter, before. We do have some depth there. Andre James, you can slide him in there if you need to. Center for the Raiders.
Yeah.
So at least we have depth and we have options. Whereas with Tom, it would just be over. And the offensive side of the football, we've loaded weapons all over the field now. So,
Yeah.
So there is some reason for optimism, despite the devastation here. And the concern with Slater isn't just this year. Also, I've heard some say some people just don't come back from this injury. So
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about it. Some come back and then nowhere near the same.
Yeah.
So, hoping for a speedy recovery with him. Hope that everything goes well during the recovery. We're gonna need him out there, but most importantly, his health. And I know fans are already jumping on the contract that he signed, and how after that contract, they kind of go on a decline. But I mean, it's not like he was not performing well. It was a freak accident. That's literally what it was.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, obviously, but I don't think it was the right time to bring that up right after he got injured. Let's just see what they can do. I mean, they also signed an offensive tackle, Ryan Nelson, who looked good in the UFL, I believe. And those who were fans of that team that he was on were actually saying at the time that he's a carbon copy of Slater. Now, How true is that? I don't know, because the competition is weaker, obviously, over there.
Yeah.
But there were some clips during the preseason against the Lions, or the Hall of Fame game against the Lions. He looked solid. So let's see what he can do. If Pipkins, let's say, messes up early, I think he's going to get yanked, and Nelson could replace him at right tackle. But overall, this was, of course, with Slater in the mix, this was going to be a better offensive line. Now, let's see. And how good was that decision to draft Joe Alt last year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'd be absolutely done without Joe Alt. Yeah. You think now for sure you have to slide him over to left tackle for Herbert's blind side.
Right. I think that's going to definitely happen. It's just the concern of, let's say, against the Raiders, for example, Max Crosby, right? All these like talented defensive ends, they're going to always want to line up on that other side of Alt. So that's the concern. But then again, defenses like the Raiders, like the Bengals, they are very weak. I think the one bright spot here is that we signed Keenan Allen before all this. Because remember, when Keenan was with us, that was his go-to. That was his third down guy. And now it was Ladd. And I can't wait to see that mixture, how that's going to play out. I think, we'll get into this too, but I think Ladd's the wide receiver one still. But it's going to be like a 1A, 1B type of situation. But the thing is, with Keenan, Ladd, these guys get open quickly. So if it's a third and short, he's going to get that ball off to them. So yes, it's devastating, that loss. You can't sugarcoat it. It's a big blow. But with the receivers that we have, we could get these short passes, short completions, and first downs off of third and shorts, let's say. Move the ball up the field. That's what matters. And you posted a video yesterday of Omarion Hampton, that burst that he had. I mean, he looks promising. So I still have faith in this team this year. It's no small feat to come back from that injury. As a team, as a player for Slater too, but I still have hope for them this year.
Yeah, I do too. And just like you said, Keenan return is so needed because both he and Ladd can get open at any time with their route running and quickly. So especially without Slater now, that's what you need. Yeah. And if Omarion Hampton is bringing that run game too, and he's a good pass catcher too, so you're going to need to start, passing to your running backs this year, unlike we did before, and that's what makes Hines, the pickup of Hines, interesting. Yeah, because he kind of brings that kind of Eckler role back, but the running back room is so crowded, I was posting those Rocket Sanders clips. That guy looks like he has juice too. Yeah. So
he looked good.
Yeah.
I think Sanders, they'd probably keep him for next year, kind of develop him this year, because there's just too much, like you said, like way too much depth. But then again, Najee Harris, only 1 year deal. So there is room for Sanders, I think, but next year. But Hines, I remember watching this guy with the Colts when we had Rivers and that rivalry with the Colts. He was solid, very solid pass catching back. Obviously older now, but he's just a great person. Like off the field, I've heard him, speak at events, fundraisers, etc. Just a very solid person. So to have his leadership in that locker room, I think is big. And Hampton, yes, he's a pass catching back. I think he can be a pass catching back. And it'll be interesting to see how they utilize those three. Are any of them going to be workhorses? I don't think so. But if Najee, let's say, gets hurt or struggles, is Hampton going to slide in and take those touches from him? Because Najee's a one-dimensional RB. He's more of a workhorse, which we need. We've been talking about that for a while. And I think it's an upgrade over last year, what we had. As much as I love Dobbins, I wish him success with the Broncos, unless it's against the Chargers. But Edwards hasn't been signed. So that speaks volumes. So I think at the end of the day, we have a better team this year than last year. I know that injury is going to loom large, but we can't put aside the bigger picture here of this team got better.
Yeah.
And if the O-line holds up, they're not going to be as good. But if they're good enough, I think that's more than enough for Herbert to work with.
Yeah. I mean, after that Houston game, we saw the lack of weapons, and they really addressed that, with the draft and with Keenan, and it was just so great to see Keenan out there again yesterday. The fans were hyped up, especially when he made his catches. He got the love again, and he looked the same. He looked the same. I think with the Bears, he might have been a little bit slower. I think he's gotten kind of back into that Keenan shape that we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Sean Merriman, who we hope to have on in a couple of weeks, he was tweeting that, sorry, I burned my Keenan jersey, but I'm buying a new one. I'm like, man, I'm glad that I kept mine, because that's the only away jersey I have of the Chargers. So I'm glad I kept that. But I think, the thing is with Keenan with the Bears, Caleb Williams was bad last year. And he had a good connection with Herbert before he left. That connection isn't going to go away within a year. That's still going to be there. So, and week 16, I believe it was, I can't remember against which team exactly. I think the Lions. He had over 140 yards receiving. So, he still got it. Like, that was...
Yeah, he still had 700 something yards, 7 touchdowns. Yeah. So
I think it was like near 800, 770 something. So that's pretty good for a receiver with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
And don't forget, they also had Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, and he still got involved that much. I think it was 7 or 8 touchdowns, something like that. So that's pretty good. So I'm not concerned about Keenan or his decline, quote unquote. I just don't see it. I mean, sure, he's slower than he was years ago, absolutely, but he's still effective.
Yeah. And he can be a mentor to these guys, even to Ladd. Ladd is so quick and such a great route runner, but he can still learn from Keenan.
Absolutely.
And
especially for Ladd, because they're so similar.
Yeah, and these rookies, Trey Harris, KLS, they can learn something from Keenan.
I love this wide receiver room. KLS, man, this guy just came out of nowhere. I remember when we drafted him, I tweeted that he could be the steal of the draft. And as of right now, I mean, it looks like it, because 5th round, we took this guy, and he's just been explosive. All training camp, you've seen it in person. And that preseason, the Hall of Fame game, he was great. Got that touchdown. This guy looks promising.
He's definitely the receiver who's flashed the most so far. I know Trey Harris was in the 2nd round, and he's had his moments too, but KLS has been the most consistent of the bunch with just highlight plays all the time, man. Bringing kind of that Mike Williams, contested catch, deep threat thing that we've been missing since Mike Williams.
Kind of like what we expected Johnson to be.
Yeah.
So what have you seen, like the depth chart? What do you think the depth chart looks like for the wide receiver core?
Yeah, from what I've seen at training camp, I think the top 2 are still Ladd and QJ. As much as fans are going to hate that, and QJ has flashed in camp too. Like, I know he's got the issue with drops. Everybody's upset about that, but he's also scored like a touchdown or 2 almost every practice. And it seems like people forget he had 8 touchdowns last season, which led our team in receiving touchdowns. So he's a threat. His hands are an issue. He's going to have drops sometimes. He's not the Mike Williams kind of guy who's going to go up and grab the ball. He has to have that perfect ball placement, which Herbert can do. So you get him in stride, you get him in space, and he's dangerous, and the coaching staff sees that, and and this is what, his third year.
Third
So
year. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it's make or break time for him. He's either gonna step up and improve even more and show this team why they should extend him, or or he's gonna be gone and KLS and Trey are gonna take his spot.
Yeah. I think honestly, you're probably the most optimistic about QJ out of everyone that I've spoken to. And I agree with what you're saying. Like, he led the team in touchdowns for a wide receiver. So I think give him one more year. Like you said, this is a make or break. Give him one more year. This was before Keenan or after Keenan? You think he's the wide receiver 2?
Well, yesterday in practice, he was still running with the ones. QJ was. Keenan, he first came in with the 2s with Trey Harris. His first pass he caught was from Trey Lance. Wow. And then Keenan mixed in with the 1s a little more after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Keenan is going to start off as the third receiver, I think. Yeah, just because he's, he is getting his footing with the team again, even though he has that connection with Herbert.
Yeah. I think they just want to ease him back. I think by the start of the season, I don't know. I just have a feeling it'll be Ladd wide receiver 1, Keenan wide receiver 2, QJ wide receiver 3, Trey wide receiver 4, and then KLS wide receiver 5. But that could easily change. Like, I could see KLS wide receiver 3 by week 6, week 7. It just depends. If QJ comes in, I think the other thing is with this coaching staff, they give a lot of opportunities to guys. Like we saw last year with Pipkins, for example, right? So if QJ comes in and he's balling out, he stays at wide receiver 3. But if he comes in and he's dropping passes, especially in the 4th, which we saw last year, it will be a short leash this year because you have Trey Harris, because you have KLS, you have options now to work with. So I think 1 and 2 is going to be Ladd and Keenan, but 3 to 5, it's really up for grabs. But to start the season, I could see QJ at 3, Trey, and then KLS.
Yeah, I think just from what I've seen in camp, I think KLS is ahead of Trey right now. And there's that discrepancy in draft position, and all that, but just KLS is making the plays and he's doing it, almost every day. And Trey is kind of like, okay, he'll have a good day and then it'll be like 2 or 3 days and it's just quiet. Like there's nothing from him.
Interesting.
Yeah. So right now KLS for me is ahead of Trey right now, but it could flip, these guys are young and they're starting to get their feet, wet with training camp and all that. And people forget it. It took Ladd some time to get going last season. He didn't come out of the gate the way we remember him in that Houston game where he's just torching everybody. That
was crazy.
Yeah. And I think with QJ, people think a lot about that Houston game, which is fair, but nobody else stepped up besides Ladd.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else was asleep at the wheel. It was just Ladd. Offensive line was horrible. The other thing is with QJ, like that Baltimore game, it just haunts me. Maybe because I was there, but and it happened in front of me too. That drop.
Yeah.
And that haunts me because like we had a chance there to actually win that game. But I think another thing is like speaking of last season, that game against the Broncos, for example, where we came back and won. It was a primetime, I think, Thursday night game.
Yeah.
The critics of Herbert were very quiet after that. And I think this season we're going to see a lot of that because truly I think this is the best supporting cast Herbert has had. You add Keenan, you add his favorite target with his second favorite target, which is Ladd. Like you basically give him 2 wide receiver 1s, and if Keenan was younger, I would really say this is like a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins type of, setup for Herbert. But really, if we were saying, Mike and Keenan were wide receiver ones, two wide receiver ones, I think you could make the argument with Ladd and Keenan. Now, if Keenan, let's say, has slowed down a little, okay, I don't disagree. But then again, Herbert's a far better quarterback than Caleb Williams. So let's see what Keenan can do this season. I think he'll be fine. And I think a lot of people who drafted Trey Harris, for example, in round 8, round 9, they're kind of regretting it now because Keenan's there. But let's see, because the thing is with Trey and KLS, they're deep threats, especially now with Keenan here. I think the slot is taken by both of those guys, Ladd and Keenan. So the deep threats, you got QJ, KLS, Trey, and Darius Davis. Let's not forget Darius Davis, because you never know. He could, punt returner, kick returner, but he could get into the mix too. So I don't know. Those three have to compete for who's going to be that deep threat. And it could be more than one. But all I know is I'm just glad we're done talking about DJ Chark and how, he might see the field, not. I don't know what might happen that week with him. But I'm glad we're done with that. There's also Brendan Rice still. He's still 23. He could be a deep threat. We'll see.
Rice has looked good in camp too.
I noticed that, yeah.
Especially with Trey Lance. They have a connection there going. And Jalen Reagor too. People forget about Reagor, and he's a good deep threat too. It's going to be interesting. Like, do we try to stash these guys on the practice squad, or because we can't keep all of them?
Yeah, I think we keep Rice over Reagor just because he's younger. I still think Rice should be given an opportunity. We spoke about this all of last season. I think he should be given an opportunity. Now, with more deep threats, I don't know if he'll have that opportunity as much as he would have last year.
Yeah.
But if the opportunity is there, I think he should be given that opportunity, because let's just see what he can do. And in the preseason especially, give him some more reps. And to your Trey Lance, that's a solid backup.
Yeah.
Because last year, we remember we needed that backup. And as good as Heineke seemed, he was okay. Like, he was a game manager. But Lance, he could really make plays. So I like that signing.
Yeah, that's another interesting battle, because in practice, they both look good. Even DJ, the fourth QB,
Mm-hmm.
These guys are all leagues better than what we've had at backup quarterback for years, man. Taylor Heineke in practice has been making plays too. He's the most accurate out of the backups. He just is. But
Also
Trey Lance, most experienced too. But Trey Lance offers that upside that Heineke doesn't have, that ceiling that Trey Lance has. So it's interesting. Do you keep both of those guys? Do you try to trade one and get a pick back?
Yeah. The thing is, if you're going to cut one of them, I would think it would be Heineke, because the other two are younger. If you were to trade one of them, I'm guessing it will be DJ. But then again, what value does he have right now? You're going based off what he did in college, but I don't think he was even drafted. So I don't know if he even has value. But I think as long as they keep two of those guys, that's good enough. Because last year it was just a mess, and we kind of expected it. And people, they say it was an easy schedule last year. It's going to be more difficult this year. I agree, but we have a better team,
a much better team, and the offensive firepower is. We're loaded this time. Like. Yeah. We barely, we were talking about Chark, like, oh, all the hope we had in Chark. Oh, please save us, Now that this whole team, man, Rondé Gadsden, we haven't even talked about him.
Oh, man.
Conklin, man, has been making plays all over the field in practice, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seriously going to take him in fantasy, man. People are sleeping on this guy, man. He's going to be Herbert's, like, security blanket besides Keenan and Ladd.
Yeah.
And then Gadsden has all the upside too.
Oh yeah, Gadsden is gonna be crazy good. He's gonna be crazy good.
Yeah.
If not this season, next season for sure. But this guy is our future tight end.
He is, and they may bring him along slowly, because of Conklin.
Yeah.
Because Conklin's making plays too, and he's Mr. Reliable. The great hands and everything.
He still got it.
Yeah.
He still got it. I mean, he was with the Jets last year with Aaron Rodgers. He was still playing.
Yeah.
So good, reliable target. So Herbert basically has 2 reliable targets in terms of vets, and a reliable target in Ladd.
Yeah.
You add Nyheim Hines in there, let's say. That's pretty good. Because we had a lot of third and shorts last year, which we couldn't convert. So now you got Mr. Third Down himself back in Keenan, and you got all these, good players that are vets who are good on short passes, short scenarios. So I think, again, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the best supporting cast he's had.
I agree. And it's so young, so they're going to grow together with him.
Right.
Man, Omarion can catch the ball, man. He can be that pass catching back too that we need as well.
Yeah.
And he's explosive. I'm just hoping that Najee is there so he can take some of that wear and tear, take some of that goal line stuff, that power back stuff that we wanted from Gus Edwards. But it's like who knows with the eye. Is he going to be ready?
Man, I mean, you just can't make it up. Yeah. This guy didn't miss a game in his entire career. He comes to the Chargers, and again, we're cursed. You just can't make it up. Unbelievable.
Yeah, freak accident. You think as a player you'd stay out of those kind of situations, right. But hey, it's his money too. Like he's got all these bonuses about playing time and yardage, and if he doesn't hit those, that's on him.
Yeah, that was a smart signing because 1 year, he's a rental. Because next year, like you said, Sanders, he looked good. I think he'll be given the opportunity next year to compete for that RB2. And look, Hampton, I think he will be the pass catching back without a doubt. But Hines could be used in those second and short, let's say, those types of scenarios. Also goes back to Joe Ortiz and how he's adding this depth. Yeah. Because sure, we have a great running back crew right now. Najee's good, Hampton's great, and as the season progresses, he's going to be even better. But injuries happen, right?
Yeah. So we haven't even mentioned Kimani Vidal, who looked great in the preseason game. He's been great in camp. He's been catching passes in camp too. He's been quick. He just has to show he's a great blocker too. But the running and the catching, he's got that down now. And Haskins too. He flashes at times, and he's the special team guy.
Yeah.
So
I think Haskins would be a great blocker. I think that's why they brought him in to begin with. But I think he'll be used more in special teams, Haskins, this season. We just have too much at RB right now compared to last season. Something I just realized, Matlock.
Yeah.
Where has he been on the field?
You know what? I haven't seen him as much on the field. Steve-O Klotz has really impressed me. I don't know if you saw, I posted a highlight Tuesday, I think, of Klotz catching this crazy touchdown pass from Heineke, like where the ball is almost intercepted, but he just catches this long pass, and it's like, man, can Klotz be our fullback? And he can add another weapon for Herbert and provide the blocking.
You can't get enough weapons.
Yeah. So there's going to be some tough decisions when it comes down to cuts. What?
Yeah. Well, the reason I brought up Matlock is because he can play so many positions: fullback, O-line, D-line. I mean, it's crazy. But I don't really think they're going to try him out at O-line, because if they would have been last season. I would have thought, but who knows? You never know with this coaching staff. They may pull it out and say, "Hey, let's see you at left guard, for example." Who knows?
I think he'll stay at fullback, but I think it's a battle with Klotz, man. They're in a competition for who's going to be the first team.
And that's great. Like, as Harbaugh always says, competitors are welcome. This is what he means. Because you don't want to limit yourself. You want to expand. You want to, like you said with Tom Telesco, it was top heavy. You don't want that because injuries happen. And once, like, look at the Bengals, for example. Defensively, they're nothing. But then offensively, they have all this firepower. Okay, well, if Jamar Chase goes down, they're done.
Yeah.
So, you have Yoshivas, you have Higgins, doesn't matter. If Chase goes down, they're done. Yeah. But, I mean, I think games like that against the Bengals, if the defense steps up, that's a win for us. If they don't, then the offense has to be in a shootout with them. And I think we're capable of that this season. With the Raiders, too. Their defense is awful. Offensively, they got better. Quarterback's better. The wide receivers, they're a bit better. I think they have Dante Thornton now, who's about 6'5", wide receiver. He's been drawing comparisons to Randy Moss. I don't know if he's going to be that good, but he definitely has the physique for it. We'll see what he can do. But I think overall the AFC West got better. The Broncos got better. They got Ingram, and Nix is going to be his year 2. I think he's going to do a lot better this year. Dobbins, Harvey. So they have guys. They have Pat Bryant, too. Their wide receiver core got better. So all around, AFC West got better. And I think Raiders still finished 4th because of that defense. But, again, the battle is between the 3, Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs.
And it may be crazy to say this, but I think we still have a shot at winning the AFC West, even without Slater, because even our defense, we haven't even talked about our defense. It's got younger and faster, and I think they've improved too, which is scary since we had the #1 scoring defense last year.
Who's standing out defensively besides the big names?
Oh man, like Nico Reed, the undrafted corner, RJ Mickens, safety. All these new, defensive linemen we have, they bring them in waves, and they're quick and they're strong. Like you saw that Lions game, we were getting a lot of push.
Yeah.
And
that was one of our weaknesses last year with that defensive line. So I'm glad to hear that.
It was, and people were worried since Puna left, and rightfully so. But I think we got better at that position.
Yeah,
seriously. And
what about Thule? Do you think that Thule's made a jump?
It's hard to say. We're gonna have to see it in the games, and that's the critical thing with the defense. Has Thule made the jump? And I think a big part of that is he played so much on special teams before when Bosa was here.
That's true.
If you take those snaps off of special teams and let him be fresh, I think he can have more of an impact.
I think so too. And I think last year, he during the last offseason, he got married, and there were a lot of stuff going on in his life, personal life. So understandable that his head wasn't there during training camp. I think he got a little bit better toward the end of the season. But this year, I think he makes that jump. He has to, because now there's no Bosa. So there's no safety. He has to make that jump. And, I mean, it's unfortunate to say this, but Khalil Mack, Keenan Allen, this is their last year.
Yeah.
Year. So you got to make a run for them.
Yeah. And to be honest, Kyle Kennard hasn't really showed anything in camp yet. And I forget the name of the other edge who's flashing right now. He actually had an interception in camp yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and people were going crazy for him, and but he's made an impact, and he's jumped ahead of Kennard on the depth chart. So it's going to be fun to watch. And another underrated thing about this team, people forget how hurt Justin Herbert was last year. To have him healthy and to see if he actually uses his scrambling this year, that's going to be a huge upgrade for the team alone. I mean, and when I interviewed Vidal about it, he said people didn't even know how hurt Herbert was.
They usually downplay it, but What about Junior Colson? What have you seen from him?
To be honest, he needs to improve still. It's still Perriman ahead of him.
Yeah, I expected Perriman to be ahead. Henley. Colson, I think until Perriman leaves, he's not going to be ahead of him. But I think because of that Michigan connection, Harbaugh just has faith in him.
Yeah.
And I believe he was 21 last year, so 22 at the most right now. So he has time to develop. I don't think fans should lose hope on him, but also don't expect him to be a starter this year.
Yeah.
Unless Perriman goes out or something happens to him. But hopefully not, because we can't afford any more injuries.
Yeah, and we saw that with Henley too. It took some time for him to develop, whether it was the coaching staff or not. Who knows? He didn't really get that chance. But linebackers. I mean, they have to be the captain on the defense there. So, maybe give him another year, and if he flashes like Henley, then we have such a great duo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Deion Henley. I think he is the glue to this defense. Like, he reminds me of Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Smaller frame, obviously, but he reminds me of Ray Lewis. Just the impact that he makes on that field, and he's only gonna get better.
Yeah.
He's not that old either. He's like 23, I think.
Yeah.
So he's only gonna get better. And then what about Cam Hart and those guys in the corner department?
The Cam Hart still has looked better. Hart has been up and down. He's allowed some big plays. I've noticed. It seems like a lot of these undrafted, these rookie guys are really making an impact. Dante Jackson looks good too. Yeah.
People forget that we got this guy from the Steelers by trade. It was so long ago now that people forget, but he's our CB1, I think, right now, right?
Yeah, and he got injured yesterday too. People, yeah. So hopefully that's nothing bad. Yeah, there are other injuries we're dealing with. Ladd hasn't practiced for a while.
I think that's more precautionary with Ladd. They don't want to risk it, and I don't blame him. He hasn't practiced for the past 10 days, but I don't blame him for holding him out. What about Tarheeb Still?
Still has looked good. I think he's going to continue just improving, showing what he did last season, I think Cam Hart is the only one I'm kind of concerned about. And, he had that concussion history too. So we'll see. He's going to be in a battle with all these young guys, the Nico Reeds, who have flashed in camp and that Lions game. So
hey, I love it. Yeah. The more competitors, the better. These guys, they played well last year, but that was last year. They got to keep that up this year. It's not a one and done type of thing. You got to keep playing well. So, and I think that's kind of Harbaugh's agenda, if you would say. Like, just don't let them rest. Like, don't let them feel comfortable that this is their spot, because it's not.
Yeah, and that's great, because it keeps people on their toes.
It's the way it should be.
It should. And we didn't see that with Telesco, because that's not how the team was built.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, those days were horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my dog had to get out there.
No problem.
But
I think defensively there's a lot of promise, it sounds like. And offensively, again, it's just stacked. People from the outside looking in, they're like, oh, okay, KLS, who's that? Like Trey Harris, and they don't know the ins and outs of it. But they're gonna surprise people when the season starts. And especially those first two games, both primetime, one in Brazil, one in Vegas. A lot of people are going to be watching that. Millions of people will watch that week one match because they just missed football. Yeah. But even that week two, it's a Monday night I think it was a doubleheader Monday night, that week two game. I think so. And it's in Vegas, so it's their home opener. So it'll be crazy.
Yeah. And there's so much hype around Ashton Genty, who had -1 yards the other day.
I was actually talking to a Raiders fan who's in one of my fantasy football leagues, and I go, I wasn't watching. How did he have -1?
Yeah.
And one of them was a blown up coverage. The second one, he had 3 yards, and then one he had a spin, he got free, and then got tackled. I'm like, okay, well, he was texting me yesterday about the Rashawn Slater injury, and he goes, "Oh, so does that mean Alton moves to the other side?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh man, so that's gonna be feast for Crosby." I'm like, "Well, we'll see, because with Becton there, I think he'll help Pipkins a lot, but
he will.
Again, that week 2 matchup is concerning for me.
Well, you're going to get the fullback on Crosby too, whether it be Matlock or Klotz. They're going to be on Crosby. We're going to have a lot of 2 tight end sets. Disley's going to be blocking. Conklin can block too.
Yeah, that's kind of Disley. I think he's a tight end too right now on the depth chart.
I think for his blocking, he might be tight end 1, just because we need his blocking so much. But I think they will run a lot of 2 tight end sets, with Conklin and Disley.
That's kind of why I'm hopeful, is because I trust his coaching staff, and I know people mock us for saying just have faith in Jim Harbaugh. People mock us for saying that, but it's true. I mean, this guy's won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah. It's a world of difference between Staley,
It's not even comparable.
Harbaugh has proven, it's just whether or not we have the guys to do it, and I think this is a playoff team. This should be a playoff team, even without Slater.
Without a doubt, I think this is a playoff team. I mean, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Something has to go miraculously wrong for them not to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And we need to get that playoff monkey off Herbert's back. He needs to get that win this year. And next year, hopefully we can just build even more depth, build up that O-line, and the sky is the limit. I think for next year, but I still have hope for this season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The thing is about next, this is the year I think where Keenan and Mac want to make that run. Yeah. So they got to make that run as a team. Yeah. And with this there still, I think helping, with the right side of that O-line, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We're not in a better position than we were with Slater, obviously. Yeah. But to say that this season is doomed already, that we should just forget about it, I don't buy that.
No. Yeah. If we were talking about the teams of the past where we had no O-line depth, sure. But we actually have guys who can step in there. Yeah, it's not going to be Slater, but you're going to have Disley. You're going to have, Matlock, these big guys helping with the blocking. And throw our running backs in there too. They can block too, So
Ryan Nelson, let's not forget him. This guy, he's huge and even bigger than Pipkins. Yeah. So I think having him,
Branson Taylor, our rookie, is huge.
Yeah,
he's more a developmental guy. Maybe next year he'll be in there. But
the thing is, it's very difficult to find offensive linemen. So to be able to get these guys to be able to develop them, that's big. So I'm not losing faith in this team, in this coaching staff. We'll talk about this later before the season starts, but Greg Roman's game plan, is it going to be run first still? We'll see. Herbert's legacy kind of, we should talk about too later on. He needs a playoff win to quiet the haters, but let's see. I think it can happen this year. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I think the run is huge for them because we saw in Houston what happens when we don't have the run game. Teams can tee up on us, so we need the run to keep teams on their toes, to set up the play action, which Roman loves and which really works well for this team. I've seen it a lot in practice, a lot of play action.
and you're going to be able to pull that off a lot because of a Hampton.
Because of Hampton and hopefully a healthy Najee too.
Even Najee,
yeah.
But I think Najee is great for the short yardage, and then Hampton, let's say on 1st and 10, he just gives a 15-yard burst. I think Najee should be used on short downs, whether it's second or third. But Hampton, in my opinion, by the middle of the season, he'll be the RB1. And Harris will still have a role. He'll still have those short downs, the goal line touches possibly. But I just feel like Hampton's going to go crazy. Even without Slater, I still think that this year he's going to have a big year.
I think so too, and I think it could happen. It could happen right away, just because Harris hasn't had the reps in camp. He's not getting any work. So Hampton has jumped ahead of him so far. So he's going to get that opportunity. What he does with it, if he runs with it, then it's his.
Right. And first week Chiefs, I think that's the perfect game for the Chargers to make a statement. For years, we just have not been able to dethrone them. You start this week 1, and the hope was obviously going into week 1 healthy. Right? I was like, okay, we're playing the Chiefs first. That's good because we'll be healthy. Obviously, it didn't work, but still, I think they're healthy enough to be able to beat the Chiefs. They're healthy enough to make that playoff run. And you never know. Once you make the playoffs, you just never know what might happen.
Yeah, these first 3 weeks are huge because they're all division games. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. You go 3-0, you've got a chance for the division.
I haven't looked at the schedule, to be honest, just the first 2 weeks. So this week 3 Broncos, that's insane.
Yeah, home opener at home.
At home.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think Broncos will be very good this year. But at the same time, so will we. And injuries happen to every team. So, we'd have to wait and see about that. Like, the season goes on, wear and tear, injuries happen. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think it'll be a 3-way battle between the Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers for the title. And again, I could see all 3 making playoffs this year.
I agree. So we'll get into this more as the season gets closer, and I'll be back at practice today. More videos, so check those out, and make sure to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll have more highlights, training camp highlights on our channel as well. So
all right.
See
you guys.
All right, what's up?